that to fit, and we'll get the show notes. So share, copy link. There's your show notes, sir. Door thing's already taken care of. My daughter took care of that before she went downstairs. She was up here talking to me. It's a good thing you guys are here to keep me honest, because otherwise I'd screw things up, you know? There we go. Aerslia, you're what? I don't understand. Oh, yes, thank you. Retweet that. If you guys use Twitter and you retweet that, that would be great. That would be great. What do you mean you're what, Aerslia? I'm confused. Oh, no, I've got my daughter, but you don't see her often because she's in college. But she's home for Christmas. So, yeah, I've got a daughter. I've got a son. And my niece lives with me as well. So we've got lots of kids around the house. Lots of them. Lots of them. Many. Mucho. This episode of Switchcraft is brought to you by patrons like Nintendork. Support Switchcraft and my other content for as little as $1 and get exclusive rewards at patreon.com/runjumpstomp. There we go. Go ahead and save project as, say okay, and then episodes raw, we'll do SCU-124. It is fun. It's fun for me too. It's more fun for me to do it like this than it is the other way. The other way is much more efficient and I can get things done faster, but it's more fun to talk to you guys this way. Today's Thursday. Episode 124 of Switchcraft is also brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook when you head on over to runjumpstomp.com/audible. There you will find a link to get your free book from Audible. Audible has thousands of books to choose from. You pick whatever genre that you want. I'm going to recommend that you read Console Wars. It's a really, really great book. It's about Nintendo and Sega. You get to pick any kind of book that you want. You read that book by listening to it because it's audiobooks. And, you know, their narrators are fantastic. And then when you're done, if you remain a member, it's $14.95 a month, and you get a new book every single month. Cancel anytime, and any books that you've procured through Audible, you get to keep. So again, that's runjumpstomp.com/audible, and you head on over there and get your free book. Okay, Audible. Or no, sponsor. Oh, you're not going to disrupt the show. I like it when you guys talk to each other. I might not see what you say during the live show, but, you know, if I miss it, then I'm sorry. I might not see what you say because I'm kind of on a roll and I'm doing my own thing. But you know, talk to chat as much as you want. That's why we're here. We're here to talk to you. I'm here for you guys to talk to each other and for me to talk to you guys. I'm not here for me. So yeah, this is about you guys. Switchcraft is recorded live 3 times a week at 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and on Saturdays, whenever I can get around to it. Tune in at twitch.tv/runjumpstomp like these awesome people did. I've got a whole bunch of people to thank for coming to the live show, starting with Aerslia. We've got Crimson Dragon 32, Who Be This Might, Snow Goes Ham, H. Ken Legacy, Vaxer is here, Link 31254. Let's see who else. I'm scrolling up. Pudding is here. Snow Goes Ham. That's a Canadian guy if I ever heard of one. I think I already said Aerslia, but I'm not positive. And I keep scrolling back. We've got a lot of chatters, and we've got some lurkers here too. And I just want to make sure that the lurkers know that I appreciate them as well. If I missed you, I'm sorry, but thank you very much for hanging out with us. And let's jump in with feedback. I've got a review on Apple Podcasts from Jack. Jack gave us 5 stars. They said, started listening about a month ago and find the frequency and length of the shows ideal for my lifestyle. Keeps me informed on everything Switch, so I don't have to look online for any news. Well, Jack, I'm glad that this is your stop for picking up little tidbits about Nintendo. I hope that you enjoy the show as well, and thank you very much for the 5 stars. That means a lot to me. If you haven't reviewed the show yet, please, if you enjoy the show, giving us a review definitely gets us up higher. So when people do a search for Nintendo Switchcraft shows up, and it also help people pick between 2 different shows. You know, they're going to pick the one that has the most stars. Right now, we're at probably 4.5 stars because we've had some bad reviews before. But on the most part, people give 5-star reviews, and I really appreciate it. It helps us a lot. Ways that you can get a hold of me. Number 1, you can email me, runjumpstomp@gmail.com, just like John did. John emailed. He said, "What up, RJS? Just a question about Xenoblade. I know you are into these games and looking forward to this yourself. I have the game coming my way for Christmas. However, I am already thinking of returning it and picking something else. My sole reason is the auto attack feature. Not sure how that works. Never played a game with that feature. Kind of picked the game due to the hype. I like controlling my characters in fights. Thoughts, sir? Thank you, John." All right, John. I've played a lot of games where there is an auto attack feature. It's very prevalent in massively multiplayer games, which I have played a lot of massively multiplayer games. And it's not that you're not attacking. It's not that you don't have anything to do with the auto attack. It's that you've got so much to do that you can't worry about the auto attack. So your character is just doing its auto attack to build up a bar, and once you fill that bar, then you can use that on other attacks that you get to trigger. Now, I have heard that at the beginning of Xenoblade Chronicles 2, there is not a lot for you as the main character to do, and that might be because you don't have very many abilities yet. As you play the game, you're going to get more abilities and you'll have more decisions to make throughout combat, and I think that auto attack is there by design because otherwise you would just have too much to do if you were also making sure to push a button every time you needed to attack. That being said, I haven't played the game, so I don't particularly know. If there's anyone out there who has played the game, is there hope for John? So that's what John wants to know. I can't really answer the question, but I've played a lot of games where you get to play or you have to auto attack and you're busy doing other stuff during your attack, worrying about positioning, worrying about when your skills are coming off cooldown. Snow Goes Ham in chat says, is the auto attack system like an auto battle system in Xenoblade? Snow, I don't know because I haven't played it, but Pudding in chat says no, just the basic auto attack as far as I know. Oh, okay. So Snow then asked, does it do the skills like healing for you? No, it does not. So your character does the auto attack and you build up these points that then you use to trigger your, I think they're called arts in the game. Again, I haven't played the game, so I'm not sure. It's just an auto attack. It's there to fill the time between decisions. And that's exactly what Snow is exactly right. It's just there to fill time between decisions because you have to figure out what to do. And it would be boring for you to look at the combat and have your character just sitting there doing nothing while you're trying to equivocate and figure out what is my next move. So the auto attack is just there for that. It also gives you this risk versus reward, or this choice that you have to worry about, because I know in the game, if you move, you can't attack and move at the same time. So while you're auto attacking, you are dealing damage and you're building up your abilities to use your arts. if you want to use an art that benefits from attacking from the flank or from the rear, you have to move to get into the right place in order to do that. And that means that you have to make a decision. Is now the time to do that? Or do I want to wait a little bit and let this auto attack run out? So I think that if you stick with the game, I think you're going to have a lot of fun. But if it's really bothering you, then I would say go ahead and skip it, because there's a million, well, not a million. There's 300 fantastic games on the Nintendo Switch, and I'm not exaggerating. There is literally 300 games on the Switch right now. And if this isn't the game for you, then move on. Anyway, thank you, John, for the email. If you're looking for other ways to get a hold of me, you can tweet at me at RunJumpStomp. You can call and leave a voicemail at 260-RUN-JUMP. That's 260-786-5867. And you can, of course, join our Discord at runjumpstomp.com/Discord and have conversations with awesome people there. That being said, don't forget, join the live streams as well and have conversations with me while I'm recording the show. So we'll name that, the heck is that? Oh, feedback. And the timer went off in the middle of that, so I'm going to lose the hat because, whoo, warm. Crimson Dragons has been playing Cat's Quest. I've heard that game is really good. I haven't played it myself, though. I need to refill my water. Arisley has been playing Elite Dangerous lately. I haven't looked at pinball since this morning, but I've seen some of the scores have been just absolutely crazy. Like, some people are ridiculously good at that game. Whoa. There was just the right amount of shadow, and I could not see the water. Wow, that could have been real bad. I'll just wipe it up with my shirt. I don't know, man. You know, we might have somebody with a really, really high score, but that doesn't mean that somebody else can't get in there and beat it. No, I spilled. Okay. Let's go ahead and save what we've got so far. Go back to the beginning. I lose the ball from my sight often in pinball. Yeah, it moves really fast. When does what come out? Tiny Metal? I think it comes out this week, but I'm not sure. Yeah, it's today, because today's Thursday. Yeah, I think indie developers usually bring their games out on Thursdays and Tuesdays. Yeah, I remember seeing it during the indie, like the indie spotlight that Nintendo did, and it looked really good. It looked fun. I'm going to turn up my fan just a little bit. All right, let's get in with the news. Okay, here we go. I haven't played the game, but by all accounts, Doom on the Switch is a really, really great port of a fantastic game. Now, I guess I shouldn't have said it that way. I haven't played it on the Switch. I've played Doom on my PC, and it's a great game. And if you don't have access to play it anywhere else, definitely pick it up for the Switch, because I've heard that the port is fantastic. The port was done by, oh my gosh, it just went right out of my brain. I can't remember. Panic Button. Panic Button is the company that did the port of the game. And good news for those of you that are first-person shooter fans. Apparently, Panic Button is also going to be handling the port of Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus, which is going to come to the Switch, I think, next year. Which is great news, because they clearly know what they're doing with the Switch, and they clearly know what they're doing with its tech. Now, this comes from someone whose name I don't know how to pronounce it. Andreas Orfior, I think is how you pronounce it. I could be wrong. The link's in the show notes if you want to let me know how horribly I pronounce this person's name. But Orfiors said that Panic Button are experts at the Switch, and now they're experts with id Tech 6, which is id's engine. So we work with them, and the Doom version turned out to be really kick-ass. So I think the Switch, on the Switch. So I think Wolf will be the same. So I'm very happy that they're the ones that are doing the port. Clearly, they've got the pedigree there. Clearly, they've got the experience. And that tells me that Wolfenstein 2 is in good hands and will probably be a really good version on the Switch. That being said, I think that Doom is a great game. And I think that Wolfenstein 2 is probably a great game. I haven't played it myself. I'm probably not going to pick up either of those for the Switch, and not because it's underpowered or anything, but because they don't strike me as the type of game where I really want to play portably, and I have access to other ways to play those games. I could play them on my PS4 or I can play them on my PC. I'm happy that they're coming to the Switch because there are people out there who don't have access to other ways to play the game. And having many different genres, many different styles of games, a wide breadth of choices for people to pick from for the Switch, I think that's very, very important. So I'm glad that they're coming to the Switch. I probably, if I'm going to play Wolfenstein 2, it's probably going to be on my PS4 or my PC, just because it's going to look better. I'm certainly not a graphics snob, but if I have the chance to play it in a way that looks better, I probably will. That being said, there's a lot of other games that I would say, oh, I'd rather have it on my Switch because I want to have it portably. Again, it really just isn't the kind of game that I would want to play portably. Now, if they included gyro for aiming, that might change my mind, because I played Doom on my PC using the Steam controller, and that used gyro for aiming, and it was really, really fun to play that way. Now, Doom on the Switch does not take advantage of the gyroscopic Joy-Cons, or the gyroscope in the Joy-Cons, or the Pro controller. So that's like a negative to me. I really think that they should have, but they chose not to. And I think that really goes along with to keep it parity with all other consoles. So if you play it on the Xbox One, it's the same experience. If you play it on the PS4, it's the same experience. If you play it on the Switch, it's the same experience across all of those platforms outside of graphics. Let's see. Vaxer says, I think the game like that would look better on the big screen, and he's right. But Snow Goes Ham has a point that says you can play it on your TV with the Switch. Let's see. Snow Goes Ham says, I just like keyboard and mouse for first-person shooter games. For me, I would have said that a million years. I've said I like keyboard and mouse, and this is really more about me than anybody else. Due to injuries to my left arm, I have trouble with keyboard and mouse these days. It's just too much pain for me to position my wrists in that configuration. So I tend to, over the past couple of years, I've moved more and more towards consoles, just because it's less painful for me to play. Anyway, Panic Button bringing Wolfenstein 2 to the Switch, I think that Bethesda and id Software have made a good choice in Panic Button. They have been really just killing it with the games that they've been bringing or porting to the Switch. So I'm happy about that. Wolf. Yeah, we'll call that Wolf. That'll Kodiak Moonwolf will like that. I will say that in that pinball game, they're pretty tough. I feel like Sorcerer's Lair is a tougher table. I need to pause the game and read the table help during the game. Oh, yeah, I never look at the table help, and that's definitely something I should do. Let me just look at some. Okay, Chris Slate. Chris Slate was an editor at Nintendo Power Magazine back in the Wii era. Now, Nintendo Power Magazine went away a while ago, but Nintendo Power is back in podcast form. So Nintendo now has, as of this morning, an official podcast, Nintendo Power Podcast. There's a link in the show notes if you want to check it out. I listened to about half of it. I've still got to listen to the rest of it, but during my morning workout, I was listening to the beginning where Chris Slate, he's the host. He brought on some other people who work at Nintendo of America, and they all just talked about like their favorite Switch stuff that happened this year. And it was fun to listen to. It's a pretty good podcast. So make sure you check that out if you're looking for official news. Good news at the end of, or at the second half of that episode, they had Eiji Onuma and Mr. I don't know his first name, but Mr. Fujibayashi. They are the two, like the head guys for Zelda Breath of the Wild, and they interviewed him about that, and probably about their Game of the Year win, and probably about DLC and maybe some other stuff. I haven't listened to that half of it yet. I haven't had a chance, but I just wanted everybody to know that that podcast is out there if you want to check it out. They're still trying to figure out if they want to go weekly or bi-weekly or what the format's going to be like. But right now, they've got good audio quality, and they're definitely going to have access to Nintendo's developers. So we're probably going to hear some pretty good stuff come out of that podcast. So I'm definitely subscribed to it, and you should too. Save that. Oh, Kodiak, what's up, man? Definitely found it easier playing on the big screen rather than handheld when it comes to pinball. Yeah, definitely. You kind of wish more Switch games use touch control. I'm fine with never having a game with touch control. But then again, most of the time when I play portably, it's in tabletop mode. I take the Joy-Cons off. I almost never play with the Joy-Cons attached. I just don't find it super comfortable. Sorry, Moonwolf. I hope you show up on there. That would be cool. Oh, on the official Nintendo podcast? Good God. Hey, you know what? If you guys want me to show up on the official Nintendo podcast, feel free to tweet at Nintendo of America or at, what's his name? Chris Slate? I've forgotten. Yeah, Chris Slate on Twitter, and let them know that they should invite Run Jump Stomp onto their show. My guess is that's never going to happen. I am like this little tiny podcaster. I'm just a dude in a room upstairs with a microphone, and I am very lucky that you guys even give me the time of day to listen. So the odds of Nintendo discovering and paying attention to anything that I do, I would say slim to none. And slim is being generous, I think. All right. Tomorrow, version 5 of ARMS is coming out, and there's a new fighter. That's all I really know. I'm excited. I'm really excited to play yet another fantastic fighter in the ARMS franchise. I think that Mr. Yabuki, who's the director of ARMS. He and his team have done such a fantastic job with bringing out content patch after content patch, and none of it feels rushed. None of it feels lame. It all feels really, really good. I'm not a huge fan of the Springbot. No, it's not Springatron. I'm not a huge fan of the Springatron, but everything else that they've brought has felt incredibly unique and really, really fun. So ARMS 5.0 releases tomorrow. That is December 22nd, because I'm recording this on the 21st. And I just wanted to let you guys know so that you could be sure to download it and check it out, because I guarantee I'm going to be downloading it and checking it out as well. ARMS. And all that stuff has been free. It's all been free. ARMS. That's right. All right, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where's the... Oh, it's over here. I've got a bone to pick with Zelda Breath of the Wild. I'm very unhappy because I was having fun playing Fire Emblem DLC. Or not Fire Emblem DLC. I was having fun playing Fire Emblem Warriors, and dang it, Zelda just distracts me, and I can't seem to get back to that game. I really like Fire Emblem Warriors. I think it's a fantastic game, and I just don't have time to play it with Zelda and plus all of the cool indie titles that I've had access to. I'm drowning in fantastic games, and I want to get back to Fire Emblem Warriors, but I just can't. And it's getting even harder because now Fire Emblem Warriors has a new costumes, new history maps, and more. There's a free software update available. I guess it includes Oboro and Azura and Niles. I don't know who those people are, but that game is really, really great, and I don't get any time to play it because there's just so much other great stuff. Most of my time has been put into Breath of the Wild DLC, which is absolutely nuts because now I believe I'm now over 200 hours into Breath of the Wild, and I still have more stuff to do. I still have a lot more stuff to do. But anyway, Fire Emblem Warriors, if you don't know what it is it's a Muso game, and I don't know what that term like stands for, but basically it looks like a button masher, but it doesn't feel like a button masher. It doesn't feel like I'm just hitting random buttons. I always have a purpose to what I'm doing. But basically, the way the game feels when I'm playing it, it's like I'm playing any other Fire Emblem game, except that I'm doing the attacks myself rather than telling my character to attack an enemy and then watching that happen. It feels like it's me doing it. And I really, really like it. I love how they've integrated the Muso game with the Fire Emblem stuff. They've got that weapon triangle in there. I've talked about it a few episodes back, but it's really, really good, and I can't wait to get back to it. But right now, I've just got so much stuff to play. I can't get to it. That being said, 2018, I know this probably isn't a popular opinion, but I almost hope that Nintendo just takes a chill pill and slows down so I can have a little bit of time to get through this backlog. So many fantastic games this year, 300 games for the Switch, and there's so many really good ones that I just haven't had time to sink my teeth into, and Fire Emblem Warriors is one of them. So if you have been waiting for that DLC, it is now available. Make sure that you check it out. I'm going to download it eventually because I like the game a lot, but who knows when that's going to be. Um, I bought a physical copy of Zelda Stormtrooper. I bought almost all of the games. If I can get a physical copy, I get a physical copy. I would prefer digital, but I want to be able to share my games with my son. He's got his own Switch, and we want to be able to share the games back and forth so we don't have to buy multiple copies. You a big fan of Fallout 2, Vaxer? Yeah, Fallout games on the Switch would be very good. Now that's the kind of game that I would say would be perfect for the Switch because you can take it with you, and those big open world games they're just so at home on the Switch because you can take out your console and play for 10 minutes and feel like you've accomplished something. Whereas with like a first person shooter like Doom or Wolfenstein, in 10 minutes, like I always feel like I want to finish a level. I want to do a whole level, and you can't usually do that in short bursts in those games. So for me, open world games, I'm like all about them on the Switch, but for like a shooter, it doesn't work for me as well, unless of course they use the gyroscope, in which case then I'm all about it. All right. The new Nintendo 3DS XL has been discontinued in Europe. So from here on out, if you want to get a 3DS, you can only get a 2DS or a new 2DS XL, which those are the ones without the 3D built in. This is kind of the same way that the new 3DS disappeared. It really does look like Nintendo is starting to move away from the 3DS line. I don't think that we're going to see it completely phase out. I'm sure that we still have some games coming to the 3DS. And I fully expect for some of those games that come to the 3DS to also be available on the Switch. I know that Nintendo is trying to treat that as two different markets. I think that it would be good for them to drop the 3DS and move on. The system is years and years old. I think what is it, like 7 years old for the DS line, which is pretty crazy. Or I'm sorry, the 3DS line. It was a long time ago that the 3DS came out. I could be wrong about that date though. It might not be 7 years. Maybe it's 6. But I think that's long enough for a portable console, especially when we have such a great portable console in the Switch. And I know Nintendo looks at the Switch as a home console first that you can take on the go. But for me, the Switch is a portable console that I just happen to be able to plug into a TV. And I think that if Nintendo looked at it that way, then I think that they would be much more likely to drop off the 3DS a little bit sooner. Crimson Dragon 32 says, I hope they port over Samus Returns to the Switch. And I absolutely agree with you. I would love it to see if I could play that game on the Switch. Every time I look at my 3DS, every once in a while I open it up and I think, oh, I'm going to play my 3DS. And every single time I am disappointed because the screen in that system is so bad, especially after playing on the Switch. The Switch has a really great screen. And that's one of the things that I was most worried about the Switch when they first announced it is Nintendo going to get the screen right? Are they going to use capacitive touch instead of pressure touch? Resistive touch? Are they going to have it a high enough resolution? Will it have a good enough screen quality? And Nintendo knocked it out of the park with the Switch. Their screen is fantastic, and it even more accentuates the poorness. I don't think that's the right word that I want to use, but the low quality of the 3DS screens. They're very, very low resolution, 240p. That's crazy low. And I totally understand why they went with such a low resolution. They had to go with a low resolution because of the 3D feature, because they were essentially showing off two 240 screens at the same time, plus the screen on the bottom, whatever that resolution is, I can't remember. That's a lot of pixels to push, and they had to keep those pixel numbers low. And while it was fine at the time back in 2011, we have smartphones, and smartphones have these fantastic screens, and then you look at the 3DS screen and you're just like, ugh, it looks like garbage. And then when Nintendo showed that they could do a great job with a screen with the Switch, that made the 3DS look even worse. So I have trouble going back to the 3DS, and I absolutely agree with Crimson Dragon 32 that Samus Returns needs to come to the Switch. Now, I haven't played that game. I don't know if there's touchscreen functionality that needs to happen. I don't know if there's dual screen functionality that needs to be built into that game because of the way that they made it. But if not, I really hope that they bring it over. Pudding in chat says that they should have upgraded the screen with the new 3DS. I agree with that, but the problem is that by doing that, you then give developers so much extra work that they have to deal with, because now they have to think about, okay, well, what resolution is this game running at? Whereas if they just use the same resolution all the time, then they don't have to worry about that. Crimson Dragon says there's a touchscreen, but it's not used very much in Metroid. It's only for the map and weapons select. Okay, so, it's a possibility that the game will come to the Switch. I think it's a slim possibility. I think if they were going to do that, they would have done it already. But I hope that they do, because I want to play that game, and I feel like I'm done with my 3DS. Go ahead and save. I mean, it did win mobile game of the year, or not mobile, portable game of the year, or best portable game of the year at the Game Awards, or whatever they wanted to call it. What's weird, Breath of the Wild is a portable game. I think that whole category is going to have to go away. The best portable game of the year, that's going to have to go away, because every Switch game is a portable game. I was actually surprised that I felt like it was weird that Metroid got that. I almost feel like that should have gone to, Skyrim is a portable game, exactly. Well, but actually, a mobile game indicates it's something that you play on your phone. All right, so if you're playing it on your phone, then that's something completely different. I think that they should just get rid of portable game as a category. All right, let's talk about gameplay. Since the last time that I recorded, I've been playing a lot of the Zelda DLC, which I mentioned before. Mostly just the story. I've gotten done 4 major things. I won't say what they are because I don't want to spoil things for people. And I'm having an absolute ball with it. I feel like I'm close to the end of the story part of the DLC. I still have all of the items that they added to the game that I have to go out and look for. But I have to say that the DLC for Zelda Breath of the Wild, the Champion's Ballad, is fantastic. Really, really fun. And it's completely drawn me right back into that world of Hyrule. I felt like I was done with Zelda after 180 hours, but I've already put like 20 hours into DLC 2. Of course, it's Zelda, so I get distracted. I'm heading over to this one thing, and I see 3 or 4 other things along the way, and I get really, really distracted, and I end up not making it to the first thing that I was going to, and that's one of the things that makes Zelda so fantastic. And I'm happy that I have an excuse to go back to Hyrule. My only hope is that we're not done with DLC for Zelda. I hope that we get some more next year, but I've talked about that on the show, so I won't spend too much time on it. Another game that has been taking my time, which might surprise you, is Pinball FX3. For those of you that don't know, I had the Mel Kirk. He is one of the higher ups at Zen Studios, the developers behind the game. And he was on the show and we talked about his game. And I've played it and it's a really fun game. And a lot of people in our Discord were talking about the game quite a bit. So I ended up making a tournament for people to play in. Now, anybody can join the tournament. The tournament, if you want to find it, there's a link in the show notes that just click on the word tournament. It'll take you to a video that explains how to join the tournament. But if you've already joined a tournament before in that game, it's very, very easy to do. You look for tournament, you search by name. You're going to search for RJS Podcast. That's for Run, Jump, Stomp Podcast. They limited it to 10 letters. Otherwise, I would have used Switchcraft. But the name of the tournament is RJS Podcast. And then I put a password on there so only people who listen to the show could join. And the reason that I did that is because whoever wins the tournament gets a table for the game, courtesy of Mel. Mel is going to send me a code. I don't know which table he's going to send, but he's going to send me a code so that you can get a free table in the pinball game. And the password for the game is RJS Podcast. So the name of the tournament is RJS Podcast, and the password is RJS Podcast. If you can't figure it out, you can watch the video. I think pretty much everybody will be able to figure it out. But we are having a lot of fun. We're playing it on Sorcerer's Lair is the table that we're playing, and the scores are getting really, really high. And you know, it's the tournament is over in 6 days. So make sure that you join and give it a shot, and don't let those high scores intimidate you, because you know, I did my first run. My score was 2 million, which sounds like a lot, but it's not. And I was like, oh man, I felt like I did really well. And then I saw somebody did 6 million. I was like, how did they do that? And now my high score is up to like 8 million or something like that. And I know that there's other people who have scored like 300 million points, and that seems like insurmountable. But the more that you play a table, the better you get at it, and you can keep trying as many times as you want. And just the more people that join, the more fun it's going to be. So make sure that you join our Pinball FX3 tournament. Again, the tournament name is RJS Podcast, and the password is also RJS Podcast. Another game that I've been playing is Hammerwatch. Hammerwatch is, I'm still working on my review of the game. I posted a preview. Actually, I'll save that for the end. I'm still working on my review of the game. It's a top-down dungeon crawler. It's really, really fun. I'm having a lot of fun with it, and I recommend it. I'm still working on the review, though, so look for that in a future episode. And I've also been playing Blossom Tales. The NDA was lifted today. I'm still working through that game, so I don't have my full review done yet, but that's another game that I've been playing. This game really reminds me of Zelda, a top-down Zelda game. They even make jokes right at the very beginning about it being very much like Zelda. If you want to check out my video previews on my YouTube page for Hammerwatch and Blossom Tales, those have been posted today, I believe. I also have some for other games as well. Just head on over to youtube.com/runjumpstomp and you can check out those videos there. Oh my gosh. Okay, hold on. I gotta add on to the end of that. Thank you, Erislia. And this just in, this comes from Erislia. Dropped this in the in our Switchcraft links channel in the Discord. Mr. Onuma, who is the producer or the director of Breath of the Wild, has said we're not going to be getting any more Breath of the Wild DLC. So the game is now complete and we're all done with it. That makes me sad. I really wanted to play. I want more excuses to go back to that game. But at the same time, I also already have 200 hours of time in that game, and I'm probably going to do 30 or 40 more hours trying to get everything. I would like to try and 100% the game, which is crazy, but I'd like to try. And if that means that the team working on the next Zelda is that much bigger, then by all means, do your thing. It's sad news, but no more Breath of the Wild now that Champions Ballad is out. Thank you for letting me know about that, Aerslia. Lightning. No. That was gameplay. TF Wagner. There's the that's the friend codes. Where is it? There we go. All right, we've got 3 quick stories for the lightning round. Number 1, David Soliani, who you may know as the guy that cried at E3 when Shigeru Miyamoto was talking about how awesome his game is, and his game is Mario plus Rabbids. He posted to Twitter that he was working on a Game Boy Advanced version of Wind Waker, which is very cool. Click on the link in the show notes if you want to see that tweet and give him a follow because that guy's rad. iOS stickers for Breath of the Wild, they look really cool. They're $1.99, which is not very expensive. You know, it's not a big deal. I think that they look awesome, but I struggle to see myself using them. I really don't use stickers all that much in when I text people, other than like the Animoji for that's on my iPhone, and sometimes I will do things like thumbs up or thumbs down stickers. But most of the people that I talk to aren't video game people. And so they would be like, why are you sending me this elf guy? And they like, what? And I'd say, that's Link. And they'd say, what's a Link? So I'm probably not going to pick it up. But if, you know, a lot of your friends are people who are playing games like that, then there you go. You might want to check it out. And lastly, Puyo Puyo Tetris is on sale at Toys R Us. And good news for you, that means that it's also price matched at places like Target and Walmart, I believe. So Puyo Puyo Tetris, if you haven't played it, is a fantastic puzzle game. Very, very fun. Excellent multiplayer. I heard that the online has kind of dried up and not a lot of people play it online, but it's best to play sitting next to somebody that you're playing against anyway. My wife and I and my son have had a lot of fun with Puyo Puyo Tetris, and it's on sale for, I'm clicking on the link right now because I've forgotten the price. It is $20 and it's normally $40. So that's a really good deal. It's half off for those of you who, you know, don't do the math. I recommend it, and if you can find it somewhere that'll price match Toys R Us, or if you've got a Toys R Us nearby, go pick up the game because it's great. Lightning round. There's the link if you want to buy it. All right, let's wrap this up, guys. Is there something wrong with the friend code list? Is it not working? Yeah, I don't see Aerslia on there. How come you're not on there, Arslia? Thanks, Pudding. The Lost Sphere demo's been on the store for a while. You should add your friend code there, Snow. That is all the time that we have for today. If there's a story that I missed or a topic that you would like me to discuss, please let me know in one of the ways that I mentioned at the beginning of the show. You can email, you can tweet, all that stuff, call, leave a voicemail. If you're looking for ways to support the show, there's a lot of ways that you can do that. The best way to do it is to just share it with a friend. Find someone that likes to listen to stuff about Nintendo and, say, hey, check out Bill on Switchcraft, and he's going to talk about Nintendo 3 days a week. So, you can tweet out the show. You can just share it with a friend. You can review the show on iTunes. That always is a big help. If you are weighed down by all the money in your pockets and you're looking for ways to get rid of it, you can head on over to my wife's Etsy shop. It's currently on hold until after the holidays, so we're not selling any right now, but you can favorite the shop. And after you favorite the shop, when we go back on after the first of the year, you can then buy Doc socks, and maybe we'll even have a discount. I'm not sure. I'll have to talk to my wife about that. But she sells Doc socks and zippered pouches and pencil pouches and things like that on her website. And most of the fabric that she uses is very nerd related. So like Mario stuff, Splatoon fabric, Donkey Kong stuff, really, really cool stuff. She also has some Doctor Who fabric and great stuff like that. If you are looking for other ways to support the show, you can join the Patreon at patreon.com/runjumpstomp. And you can find links to all this stuff, plus my Amazon affiliate link. Now that the holidays are over, I'm sure that that'll get used less and less. But if you shop on Amazon, you can just head on over to runjumpstomp.com/support. You'll find a link there. Click that link before you do any of your purchasing. It doesn't cost you anything extra, and I get a bonus. So thank you guys for listening. Thanks to Tom Winter and Noteblock for the use of your music on the show. You guys are great. And make sure you follow them on YouTube because they're fantastic musicians. Speaking of musicians, there's somebody I want to call out that I have not really spent much time listening to before, and that's DJ Cutman. I was watching his Twitch stream last night, and it was fantastic. So I highly recommend you check out DJ Cutman as well. And that's not like a sponsored thing, and he didn't give me permission or anything. I'm just saying, check him out because he's rad. Really, really great music. Anyway, thank you guys. I will see you. Oh, actually, no, I won't. Today is, well, let me see. Today's the 21st. So the next day is the 23rd. All right. There's a possibility that I will be able to record on Saturday. However, that being that close to Christmas, I might not be able to, but never fear. I sat down with people from 3 other podcasts, Nintendo podcasts, and we talked about all things Nintendo. We talked about Nintendo's entire year, and if I can't record on Saturday, then I'm going to drop the first part of that on the 23rd. I will follow up with the second part of that on the 26th, and finally the third part of that, because we talked for a long time, on the 28th. So this might be the last live show that I have for like a week, just because of Christmas. And if that's true, then I hope that you'll stick with me after the holidays are over. If I don't see you, I hope you guys have a fantastic holiday, and I hope that we play a whole lot of games together next year in 2018. All right, let's get out of here. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye. And we'll save that. I have I Am Setsuna on my Switch. I have yet to play it just because I have so much other stuff to play. Hey, Doggly Woggly, I saw you come in, but I never said hello. So, hello. Just a Bit Reaper for the second time. What? Beat Reaper. Oh, it must be a game that you're talking about. That's right. Today is the solstice snow. That means after today, if you live in the northern hemisphere, the days are going to start getting longer. Thank God. You're disappointed with I Am Setsuna? Oh, don't say that. I've heard it was so good. I can't wait to play it. I just have no time. I got it when it was on sale. So how'd we do? Did we do okay today, everyone? Oh, you're bad. Okay. Let's see. How long is the show? Oof, it's a longer one. It's a longer one. I might trim out I might trim out something. Get rid of something on here. Yeah, it's almost 40 minutes, so I'm gonna have to yank some of that out of there. What do you mean nothing works, Crimson? Oh, the game that you're playing?